Hey guys, it's Manager Kylie, and in today's video I'm going to go through all the rules of ice hockey. So today I'm going to go through some of the basic rules of ice hockey and some of the basics you would need as a beginner playing the sport or even somebody that is watching the sport. But if you guys are interested in more sports administration videos just like this, definitely hit the subscribe button, turn the bell so you get notified every time I upload. I post a new video every single Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So the obvious basic of hockey is you want to score more points than your opponent. To score a goal, you do have to hit the 4-inch diameter puck into the net over the goal line. It does have to fully cross that goal line. And the rink for North American hockey is about 200 feet by 85 feet. And the game does start off with a face-off at center ice. A face-off is when two players from opposite teams line up against each other and fight for possession of the puck. And a face-off is always used to restart play. Anytime there's a stoppage in play, a face-off is used on one of the 8 face-off dots or at that center ice spot. The game is played with 2 teams with 6 players from each team on the ice at a time, and I do have a video on the different positions in hockey if you're interested in learning more about those. I will have that linked up in the iCard. And substitutions happen on the fly. You can do as many or as few substitutions as you want. As long as that player that was on the ice comes off, you can immediately send somebody else back on. And the game is played in 3 20-minute periods. And the game clock does stop after each play. So anytime the whistle is blown, the game clock does stop. Now, a big thing in hockey is penalties. So you might hear something about a power play or a penalty kill. And a penalty leaves the team that committed the penalty with one last player. That puts them on the penalty kill. Because they are down a player, they have to stop the other team. They're trying to kill off the time of that penalty. The team that is up a man is on the power play. They have one more man than their defender, so they have a higher chance of being able to score. Now, there's a few different penalties. A minor penalty is a 2-minute penalty, and this could be something like tripping. This could be something like cross-checking. And the big thing about this penalty is if a goal happens to be scored by the team that is on the power play, the penalty is automatically killed off. So you could only sit in the penalty box for 30 seconds if the other team does score. If you were the team down a man and you are to score a goal down a man, the penalty does stay. It only ends early if the team that has on the power play is able to score. Now, that's a little different for other types of penalties. For manager penalties, they are 5 minutes and they do have to be sat out in full. And these are penalties for fighting, hit from behind, hitting to the head. These are a little bit more dangerous, and that's why the 5 minutes does have to be sat out in full. And then there's also misconduct penalties, and these are 10-minute penalties. Again, these ones do have to be sat out in the full 10 minutes. And these are generally for talking back to a linesman or a referee, or if you commit a major penalty and there's some obvious intent to injure somebody. And if there is some over-the-top game misconduct, you can also be ejected, leaving your team down a player. Now, one type of penalty does lead to penalty shots, and this is if a player is pushed from behind or obstructed in some way with obvious ability to be able to score. So if somebody's coming one-on-one to that goalie and somebody from the defending team comes over and totally just takes them out so that they can't score, this becomes a penalty shot. A penalty shot gives a player a one-on-one opportunity to score against the goalie. They start at the midpoint of the ice, and they have the ability to skate all the way up as close as they want to the net, and they have one shot on net to try to score. Another thing in ice hockey is offside. So the puck must cross your opponent's blue line before anybody from your team does. Then that puck must fully cross that blue line. Once it's crossed the blue line, anybody from your team can go into their offensive zone. And if the puck comes back into that center ice area, your entire team has to clear out the offensive zone before you move that puck back into the offensive zone. If you are called for offside, it does result in a face-off in your defensive zone of the ice. Another thing is icing, and this is when the puck crosses 2 red lines. So this is the middle red line and then your opponent's goal line. So you can't just hit the puck out of the way because you want to clear it out for no reason. The only time you can do that is if you are on the penalty kill. You can hit it out of the way to try to clear it out to give your team a defensive breather. But if you are playing equal man or you are up a man, you cannot just hit it down to the other end of the ice from over halfway. If it crosses that midline and the other goal line without anybody there to get it, it does become icing, and that means that there is a face-off in your defensive zone. International play does play with draws, so if there is a tie at the end of regulation, they just end the game. For North American play, they do go into overtime, and overtime is sudden death. So once a goal is scored in overtime, the game is over. If they are unable to score in that period of overtime, it does go into penalty shots. Each team gets 3 penalty shots, and it's whoever can make the most of those 3. If both teams make 3, Then you go on to one-on-one penalty shots, so each team gets one, and you work on from there. If one team gets 2, one team gets 3, the game is over. Whichever team scored more of the penalty shots wins. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you have any other questions about the basic rules of ice hockey, definitely let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see this for any other sport, definitely check out the playlist linked at the end. If you're interested in learning what position you are in ice hockey, also check out that video as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I will see you guys next Wednesday.